Chapter 1. The most ordinary food was once a surprise. What if I told you that the simple potato in your kitchen once helped feed empires and change human history? Think about the last time you walked through a supermarket or sat down at a fast food restaurant. You likely saw bags of brown, dusty potatoes or smelled the salty aroma of golden French fries. The potato is everywhere. It is in our soups, our side dishes, and our snack bags. To the modern eye, the potato is perhaps one of the most ordinary foods in the world. It is so common that many of us hardly think about it anymore. But if you could step into a time machine and travel back just 5 centuries, you would find a world that had never heard of a potato. In the year 1400, a chef in Paris, a farmer in China, or a merchant in Cairo would have no idea what this plant was. They had never tasted a fry, never seen mashed potatoes, and certainly never imagined that a rough, lumpy plant would one day become a global powerhouse. For most of human history, the potato remained a local crop in the high Andes of South America. To the rest of the world, it simply did not exist. It is fascinating to realize that something we now consider boring or basic was once a strange and surprising discovery to the people who first saw it. We often believe that history is shaped only by great kings, bloody wars, or complex machines. However, the story of the potato proves that sometimes major change begins with something simple on our plates. This isn't just a story about a vegetable, it is a story of survival, movement, and transformation. Before the potato spread across the world, daily life looked very different in many places. After it arrived, food history began to change in major ways. But to understand how that happened, we have to go back to the beginning, high into the mountains where the potato first took root. Chapter 2. Born in the Andes. To find the true cradle of the potato, we must travel thousands of years into the past, high into the Andes Mountains of modern-day Peru and Bolivia. Imagine standing on a rocky ridge, thousands of meters above sea level. Here, the air is thin and biting cold. The wind sweeps across the landscape, and the ground is often frozen solid. In this harsh environment, many familiar crops would struggle to survive. But the potato is unusually well suited to harsh conditions where many other crops fail. The indigenous people of the Andes did not simply find the perfect potato growing in the wild. In the beginning, wild potatoes were small, rough, and often bitter. Some were even poisonous, containing natural chemicals to protect themselves from being eaten. However, these early mountain communities were incredibly observant and patient. Over many generations, they slowly transformed the plant. They carefully selected the best plants to grow again, season after season, until the potato became a safe, reliable source of energy. Because the mountain slopes were so steep and rugged, these ancient farmers had to reshape the earth itself. They carved the hillsides into massive terraces, which looked like giant green staircases climbing toward the clouds. These flat platforms of land were a brilliant invention. They prevented the soil from washing away during heavy rains and captured warmth during the day to help protect the plants during freezing nights. By the time the great Inca Empire rose to power, people in the region were growing hundreds of different varieties of potatoes, in shades of purple, red, yellow, and blue. The potato wasn't just a lucky discovery. It was the result of long human skill, patience, and adaptation. It became one of the most important foods protecting these communities from hunger in one of the most difficult environments on Earth. But growing the potato was only the beginning. Its real power appeared when life became difficult and food had to last. Chapter 3. More than food. Survival, storage, and society. In the modern world, we usually buy exactly what we need for the week at the grocery store. But in the ancient Andes, life was a constant gamble against nature. One bad season, one unexpected frost, or 1 year of drought could mean the end of an entire village. To build a stable society, people needed something more than just a tasty vegetable. They needed a food source they could rely on, no matter what the weather decided to do. The potato became that source because of a brilliant discovery. The mountain people realized that the freezing nights and intense daytime sun of the Andes created a natural laboratory. They developed a method to freeze-dry potatoes